Hip Hop 1996 is most slept on because you had too many classics that came out in one year. I told you once and I'll tell you again. What up, though? I'm JHall, writer, cultural critic, and love does not cancel out STDs. Hip Hop 1996 is the most slept on because that's when you had great artists who became legendary. That's when you had legendary artists who might have also been overlooked, and sometimes their legend was actually not going to be appreciated until much later. Like Jay-Z's debut album, Reasonable Doubt. Look, Jay-Z calls himself the Mike Jordan of rap because he really does feel like he's the greatest, but I also heard him say in an interview he called himself MJ because when Michael Jordan came to the league, it was all about Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. When Jay-Z came into the industry, it was all about megastars, Tupac, and Big. Hands down, that's what it was. But he had a lead single that was called Dead Presidents Part 1. I'm talking about the original one. And when he said, I want money like Cosby, who wouldn't? This kind of talk makes me think that you probably ain't got no pudding. That's when I knew that Slick Play was something a little bit different. His verses, the way he flowed, his rhyme for rhyme scheme was something that was a little bit more abstract. When you hear Brooklyn's Finest, when he's going back and forth with B.I.G. and they're battling over the King of New York status right there for me, when I hear if Faith have twins, she might have two Pacs. Get it? Tupac, that's where Big was pretty much saying, I'm the king of New York, and you're going to have to wait a little minute. And Jay-Z definitely had to sit down and wait a little minute on his own track. Now, look, when you also have something that's underrated on the album that's actually underrated, I got to give you Politics as Usual. I don't never hear this song getting brought up the way it should. But when I hear that line, you ain't seen money in your life when it comes to cheese, y'all like three blind mice. You should have known the potential of Hove right then and there. But look, I once heard Benny Siegel say in an interview that Reasonable Doubt was for the bosses. It wasn't for the everyday nickel and dime hustler on the corner. They was on private jets and they were on private boats. Jay-Z was presenting himself in a suit on a whole nother level. And you also had songs like Can't Knock the Hustle with Mary J. Blige. You had The Evils. You had Can I Live. You also had Ain't No Nigga with Foxy Brown. Feeling It. The album itself is wall to wall a masterpiece, but we were too busy paying attention to the greatness of what was happening in that short period of time between Big and Pac and other classic albums that came out that year. But Reasonable Doubt is an example why greatness sometimes is overlooked, but it does not mean it won't blossom into something later.